About to get you a freebie episode, but let's say hello and thank you. Ridgeline Counseling, Dr. David Markwell. He's the best, man. I got to tell you, you got some issues, you need a buddy to talk to. He and his 10 therapists are there. MarkwellTherapy.com. Email directly, ridgelinecounseling@gmail.com. 3 locations in Georgia, across from Sprayberry High School, Sandy Plains, East Cobb, Marietta near the square, McCaysville outside of Blue Ridge. But if you're not in Georgia, that's okay. He still wants to help with those virtual sessions. MarkwellTherapy.com. Capriati Sandwich Shop, Folsom, California. There's a Capriati's everywhere across the country, but one in Folsom in particularly. So my buddy Scott owns that one. Capriati's.com. Roast turkeys, quality meats and cheeses, Wagyu, fresh rolls, produce. They're the best. Delicious. The Mad Dog, Manny Aurora, and the Aurora Law Firm, or the AuroraLawFirm.com. Are you a troublemaker? Criminal offense, white collar crime, DUI, drug offenses. He's got your back. Based out of Georgia, but can litigate all over the United States. And inspect all pest services. He's got some creepy critters, pest, wildlife control, termite. They do all that. In the metro Atlanta and surrounding areas, but they do more than that. Insulation, pressure washing, gutter maintenance, and they're great people. And you should use them because they sponsor the show. And I love Nick and everybody over there. InspectAllServices.com. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let's begin.
What do we want to talk about?
Be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Welcome to the Bailey Show podcast, a guy show women love to listen to.
Intellectually immature nonsense.
That's
BS.
That's BS.
BS. Yes.
That's BS.
Okay, man, let's do it.
All right, there it is, episode 196 of the BS, your freebie episode. We do hope that you subscribe to the other episodes by going to thebaileyshow.com if you like what we're about to do. And most people do. My name's Jason Bailey. Right there, that is the iron-fisted one, Chuck Lunsford. Hello, Chucky.
What's up, buddy? I'm feeling good.
That's good.
That's about it. That's about it. Feeling good. Feeling good today.
Sound like a corpse. No, I'm feeling I'm feeling good. There's the B-Man, Brandon Thrasher. Hello, Brandon Thrasher.
Yo, what's going on? I'm feeling pretty good. That's the person that's lively and they're awake.
There you
They're
go.
live.
I like that. I like
And my
that.
face was smiling too. Chuck looked like he didn't want to have another day left.
So before I forget, because on yesterday's episode I had said that today I will tell you my backup plan for these birthdays. So my daughter's birthday was yesterday. She turned 19. Happy birthday, Bees. My wife's birthday's tomorrow. My birthday's next week. And I had said in yesterday's episode that, my wife has had it. She's like, all right, the kids, Caleb's 23, Ariel's now 19. We got so much going on. This is a big birthday for Rach. She turns 40. She wants to do something, but our world has been turned upside down with this move. We're still unpacking. We've got projects. We got all kinds of stuff, right? So she's like, book us an Airbnb at the beach. And I'm like, okay, done, did it. So we'll do kind of both our birthdays, but it's really more her birthday. It's more about her. I don't care. I'm turning 49. It's like after a certain point, I don't give a damn about birthdays. I don't even want to celebrate them anymore. I don't want to know I'm getting older. So I booked that. So that's what we're doing. But because of the move and everything that we've gone through this past year, especially this past month, we're just like, and we don't have any room for anything else in this house. A lot smaller house. We said we're not getting each other anything. And I asked you guys, I said, is it a trap? And Chuck, you said what? It is
1,000%. 1,000%. It's a trap. There's no way a woman doesn't want a gift, no matter what it is. They want a gift. They just want you to surprise them. They want you to think like, baby, I know you said it. I don't need to get you anything, but you're worth it to me. And to get something. Don't fall for it.
Brandon, you think it's a trap? It's a trap. It's not a trap.
Yeah, it probably is. I've never usually
Had a girlfriend?
whatever a woman wants, probably the opposite.
I've never bought a girl a gift. That's what he's
Well, I did break up with my girlfriend before Valentine's Day so I could save money for my boat back
Yeah,
in
I
the day.
remember that. I think I helped you with that, did I not?
What we talked about on air. I remember that though.
Yeah, that was the girl who was mad at me, right?
No, that was a different girl because you called her a whore.
Oh, my bad. Did you just strum a guitar when I did that?
No, I set down my beer. It
Like a
just made a
sitcom.
loud noise.
Okay. So it could be. It's a bad move for a guy to do. I messed up. I'm not thinking right now. I got too much on my plate. But like I think I initiated the conversation. Because I was like, I don't want anything. I was like, if you want something, I'll get you something. And she was like, no, I don't need anything. And she was like, let's just go to the beach. We'll do that. I'm like, perfect. That's great. Let's just do that. Then I started to think, I'm like, well, I fucked that up, right? Because, I agree with you guys. It's a trap. But now I'm in a situation that I put myself in. If I don't get her something and she expects something, I'm screwed. But if I get her something and she actually holds to it and she's like, well, you said we weren't getting each other anything. Like now I got to go out and get you something. It's going to be like a shitty gift, so now I put myself in this hole. So I think, I think I'm smart. I think I did good. Okay. Here is my plan in case my wife actually does want a prize for her birthday, even though she said she didn't want a prize for her birthday. Are you ready?
Yeah.
This is gonna be awesome. Yeah.
Because of the move and everything that we're doing within this move, I went out and bought a 75-inch television for the house.
Oh dear God. Dude,
Oh.
that's like the absolute worst thing you could buy. Because
Yeah,
it's obviously for you. It's
Yeah.
obviously for you.
What happened to like your 6 other TVs you had?
You left him in California, remember?
No, I still have them. They weren't none of them are this big. And the house,
Who watches TV primarily in your house?
we both watch about the same amount of TV.
Who watches TV that it matters how big the TV is?
I would say that's a 70-30 split. Maybe 60-40.
Give me 30. You said, so I'm guessing she's the 30%. Is that where you're at?
Yeah.
Okay. What is the 30% that you're saying? Name me one thing you're saying that she watches that the size of the TV matters.
She likes to watch a lot of pornography. She watches dirty shows, man. Let me tell you, because as soon as my head hits the pillow at night, my wife won't watch a show that we're watching together because it's kind of our rule. It's our thing. So she'll start watching shows that she knows I don't want to watch. She watches, and I'll wake up every once in a while and I'll see a woman masturbating. And I'm going, what are you watching? And she's like, oh, this is the show You or something. I'm like, this is dirty. Is this what you watch when I go to bed? So my wife is into the pornography. Now, granted, that's in the bedroom. That's not going to be on this television. But I would guess and probably be correct to say if she could watch pornography on a 75-inch TV, she'd be in hog heaven.
Well, that's not pornography, first off. That's a show on Netflix. So that's just a TV show. I mean, you're talking really, there's only one or two reasons you get a 75-inch TV. One, the obvious, right? Sports. 1000% sports. But two, maybe these like blockbuster movies like Top Gun Maverick or something like that where you're like, I need to watch that on a huge TV. That's really it. So is Rachel into those things?
I'm sure she could get accustomed to them.
You bought yourself a present for her birthday. That's your backup plan. Oh, oh man, that's great. We didn't want to get each other anything, so I just got myself something. Hope you're fine with it.
She might have got you a gift too, and it might be an 85-inch TV, which would suck.
I promise you, she did not do that. I guarantee it.
Have you thought about doing the old, you're going to be at an Airbnb, bring some oil and be like, hey, I wanted to give you a massage and 1 hour special Bailey, surprise massage. That way you're giving to her, but at the end, it's kind of a gift for both of you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
You're only spending $5 on a thing of olive oil.
Right.
Yeah, olive oil. What are you cooking her? Olive oil?
It's good
Have
for
you
the
ever
skin.
bought olive oil? It's like $17 a bottle.
That's what
He said olive oil.
that's what Brandon does before he goes out on a hot date. He goes to Subway and asks to buy the bottle of oil before he goes and gives the girl a rub down.
You know what? It's gonna get real crazy. Can I get the balsamic vinegar too?
Is there any way you could throw in the sriracha sauce? I just want to get really nutty tonight. Because
There's no, it's good for your skin. I figured that's what you would use.
Olive oil?
Yeah,
Chuck,
it's good for your skin.
we're not 20 anymore. I'm not, anytime the only reason a guy gives a woman a massage is to get laid,
Oh, I got 3 kids to prove it. But
Yeah.
I mean,
I
it
don't
still
have,
happens.
I don't have a problem. I mean, I'm sure she'd love a massage and stuff. I'll buy her a massage, but I mean, it's not the thing. So I think I think I can get away with the TV. I really do.
You gotta have it. You gotta have it on something. You gotta have it on a show that you wouldn't want to watch, and you gotta watch one episode with her or something.
Well, she watches the pornography, and it makes me feel uncomfortable watching that with her.
Well, you just gotta watch at least one episode.
I did. It made me
Well,
feel.
on the new TV. On the new TV.
Oh yeah, I mean that's a large vagina on a 75-inch. And they show peepees too. I mean that's a big peepee on a 75-inch TV. Like if I were an actor and I were to be nude, I would have it in my contract that I could only do 75-inch televisions.
It can't be released on anybody that has a smaller TV. So when they go to Prime Video, it's like it's blocked unless you have a 75-inch
Blacked
TV.
out.
Yeah.
Like that Jason Bailey is the most well-hung star in
Yeah.
Hollywood.
There's why can't we see any of the Jason Bailey porn on our cell phones? There's a reason for that because it's embarrassing. It must be 75-inch televisions or larger. That's a rule. All right. Well, I'm gonna try it and see if I get away with it. And well, that was my plan. So anyway, here's the next thing. So we had we had people over for Memorial Day and some old friends from Orlando stop by and so on and so forth. And we celebrated kind of all of our birthdays. We had a birthday cake, said happy birthday x3 and that kind of thing. And my mother was here and my mother-in-law was here. My mother-in-law gave us all, something. And, my mother-in-law usually for me, she gives me like Under Armour shirts or something like that. And she did that. And it was very nice and very sweet and very appreciative. And then, she gave Rach some clothes, a bathing suit, cover up or whatever it is, and bracelets. It was very nice, very sweet, very cute. My daughter, the same thing, clothes that she would wear, very nice, very sweet, very cute. My mother means well. My mother has a good heart. But my mother, and she's always been like this, she likes to find gifts in odd places. She does a lot of consignment shopping. Okay. In her head, it doesn't matter how much it is. It does matter how much it was at whatever time. And then in her head, she then kind of computes and goes, they would like that. So she gave me for my birthday this massager, speaking of, that looks like a sander. It's from the early 80s. I'll post a picture of it. I don't want to embarrass her though, so I don't want to make fun of her, but it literally plugs into the wall with a 3-prong cord. Okay, like a power cord, and it looks like an old saw, like an old Craftsman power tool. I mean, it's built to last, okay? And I'm like, I'm afraid to use that thing. I really think it's gonna hurt.
Luckily, you got extension cords all over the house, so you can just plug it in wherever you are.
Yeah,
and walk around with it.
You listen to yesterday's episode, you know about that. So then she gives Ariel her stuff. And she gave her this bag, this duffel bag with wheels, like it's old, it's used, and it's like Nautica, and again, the thought was there, right? And Ariel knows that, my wife knows that, and thank you very much. It's very, very sweet. And I forget the other things that she gave her. But one of the things she gave her were bath salts. and
Drug?
no, no. Like I think you can use them as a drug, or you can actually take a bath with them. They're used. Remember the old Miami Zombie guy? He was on bath salts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brandon's like, wait, you can bathe with those? I thought they were just drugs, man.
So she gave her bath salts, and usually bath salts have a look to them. There's a certain look to them. So these bath salts, I'm going to show you, and because we do the Free Bay episodes, the full video, you can go to our YouTube channel at The Bailey Show, subscribe to the channel, it's free, and you can watch this video, but you can see what I'm holding right now. My mother gave my daughter bath salts for her birthday, allegedly. These bath salts are crushed very fine in a plastic bag, surrounded by purple netting, very pretty, with a pretty purple ribbon around it. The only thing that tells me that they're not bath salts, in which my mom thought they were, is that at the top of the bag, there is a metal coin that says "Faithful Forever, 47422." These are not bath salts. You know what they are?
I mean, they look like repurposed bath salts, like for a wedding or something. Like they gave everybody their own little goodie bag.
Brandon,
The ashes?
they're fucking ashes.
Shut your mouth. No way, dude.
These
No
are,
way.
my mother gave my daughter what she thought were bath salts, are actually somebody's dead body.
No,
remains.
no way. No
Yep.
way.
What I'm holding right now.
Is it like
What
a
does it
dog
say?
or
It says
something?
goodbye forever. That's what I'm thinking. It's a pet, like a bird or something, like a pet bird.
What, did they got the birthday and the death date?
Because that's not enough ashes for a full human. That's like enough for like an arm or something. Maybe the guy lost his arm.
Oh, you give them away. You give them away to the family. Each person gets some.
Maybe
Or
they didn't like you.
it was a midget.
Might have been a horrendous car
That's
wreck.
how-
They only had
That's
half
how
the
they give
body.
away the ashes to little people. You're such a jerk, man.
What? I'm not a jerk. I mean, a midget's ashes are going to be less than the normal person's.
That bag is like it's not even a sandwich bag. It's like a snack bag.
Don't call me a dick because I'm a observationalist. It's science.
You said maybe he's a midget, but his name's not even on it. They called him what, 4742?
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but it's
Maybe he was an inmate.
47,
Maybe it was an
40.
inmate.
Isn't that their birthday? 4742? 1942?
What is, oh, you mean like April 7th, 1942?
Yeah.
Midgets don't live that long, dude. Oh,
Well, I mean,
okay.
they might have died. Did they put a death date on there? They didn't really know when they died. They just died in his sleep and didn't find them for a couple of weeks.
There's no way it's a human. That's illegal. You can't sell human ashes.
well, I'm sure they probably did not do that on purpose.
They clearly market them as bath salts.
So you have to, you have to understand where my mother shops. My mother shops at this store in Eustis, Florida called LCM. It's like a Goodwill. That's only place she goes because she can't drive long distances because of her sight and stuff like this. So she takes her brand new car up to LCM every day and goes in the store, and she'll spend like $20. And my mother's always been like this. I mean, like, I'm not making fun of her. It's just unique, right? I'll tell you a story here in a second, how I learned my lesson from what my mother does. But what my mother does is she will see something and she'll know what the actual price is, and maybe they'll have it on there. And if it's a good deal, she'll buy it. She might not need it. She might not have any room for it. She will just buy it. And she likes to tell you how much it's worth. So she just got this brand new car. She goes up to her store. This guy says, "Is that your brand new car?" She says, "Yes." He says, "We just got some new car covers in. You want me to see if there's one for your car?" She goes, "Oh yeah, that's great." So they go. He goes, "Wow, it fits your car." This is her telling me the story. It's a $250 car cover I got for $30. Okay, so she's like that. Well, okay, that's great. She got a $250 car cover for $30. She's got a fucking garage. Okay. There's no reason why she needs a car cover. She's got a garage. But
It's a dust cover, dude. It's a dust cover.
but she bought it because it was $250. That's what my mother does. Bless her heart, right? She means well. She really, really does. So, Brandon, to your point, this is like a Goodwill where Goodwill just throws stuff out on the shelves. So you've got some body at the store probably going, oh, what are these? Bath salts. Put them in the bath salt department. These are ashes, probably not meant to be thrown in with the rest of the stuff. Now I have to find out whose ashes these are because I feel horrible. I can't just throw them away. This is somebody's body that I'm holding. Possibly.
I was like this. I was right in the height of World War II.
I got the
I can't.
whole
There's
world in my hand. I got the whole world in my hand. I got the whole world in my hand. I mean, I got the whole wide world. And I mean, right. This is Toby. I'm holding Toby right now. Toby.
I think it's a freaking animal. I would just throw them away or experiment with them, put them in water and see what happens.
This is the second corpse I've had to deal with since moving into this house of nightmare. There's in the backyard, they have a shrine to, I'm assuming, a dog, Hershey. And they've got like rocks and stuff, like it's like where they buried Hershey. And it's in my way. It's right next to the hose and stuff. So I keep accidentally knocking down these stones. And I feel horrible. I'm afraid this damn dog, I'm guessing it's a dog, is going to come back and haunt me. You know, I don't know what's going on. I feel I'm like in a poltergeist thing right now.
I would just remove it, man. Just remove it. When did Hershey pass away? Does it say when Hershey passed away?
No, it doesn't. Maybe I'll bury this thing with Hershey. Maybe I'll put them together. That's a pretty good idea.
There you go. They can rest in peace together and you know they're protected.
Yeah, forever under the water hose.
Yeah, right. How crazy is that, though? My daughter almost bathed with what we thought were bath salts, and they were actually ashes, and my mom didn't know. Now, the question is do I tell my mother?
Oh, yeah. What if she bought like 7 packets? That's a small packet.
She might have given away to a lot of friends.
She might have given away to friends. She might be bathing in them routinely. You talk about being haunted. That's one way to do it. You bathe in somebody's ashes, they are coming back.
That's like Chucky. I think that's how he got inside that doll.
Yeah.
Something around that. Or Pet Cemetery. Both scary movies.
That's crazy, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
how much did she pay for them? Does it say?
It does not say.
Oh, you've got to get a little necklace for it and put it on Darth Vader there behind you.
Oh,
That's a good idea.
Yeah, you wear it. And it's like a show memorabilia, like something from a show. Oh yeah, there's the bag of ashes. It could be like Luke's hand or something.
Or you can send them to Brandon and he can bathe in them and put it on Instagram.
I don't think she's going to be awake.
Would you just text her like, you know those bath salts? They're not bath salts.
No, I'm calling her right now. Hold on.
Oh, you're calling.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying
to. Gotta tell her right away.
Mom, what are you doing? I'm bathing with the dead, dear. Oh, okay. Did bees like her bath salts?
You know you live longer when you bathe with the dead.
Exactly.
Some creepy shit. She never wants me to go into her place. She's got all kinds of weird dead bodies.
Bottles of blood.
So she lives in a very small house and she's got all these dogs. And these dogs are like, oh, here she is.
Mom.
Hey, Mom, are you awake? Oh, hold on for a second. I got to connect you here. Hold on. Hey, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. Are you awake?
Yeah, I was awake. I mean, I was asleep, but I'm awake now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean. So we're doing the show right now. Brandon and Chuck are on here. So you're on the podcast right now. You guys want to say hi?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Jason's mom.
All right. Hey, so we just got some breaking news that I needed to tell you immediately.
Yes.
So you know one of the gifts that you gave Ariel for her birthday, the bath salts?
The what?
The bath salts that you gave Ariel for her birthday?
Yeah.
They're not bath salts.
What is it?
They're ashes. Somebody's dead ashes. Their remains.
No.
Yeah. You didn't read the tag? It's got like remember forever. These aren't ashes, Mom. I mean, these aren't bath salts. Bath salts don't look like these. These are remains of somebody.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh God. I can't believe this. Oh my gosh.
Where did you get them from?
I got them from LCM. They said they were bath soap.
Yeah. So it's not a big deal. I mean, bless your heart. Thank you for the gift that you didn't know. We just didn't know. I was contemplating whether to tell you. I just didn't know if you bought like a bunch of them and you're giving them out to a lot of people. We wanted you to not do that.
No, it was on one of the displays, and there was a bunch of them there.
Okay.
And it oh, I'm so sorry. Ooh,
It's okay. It's okay.
I can't believe I did that.
No, it's okay. Just give them a heads up that these pretty sure these are the remains of a midget. Okay.
Okay, I will.
All right.
Gosh,
Talk to you later.
bye.
Bye. Let's see you. Well, there we go. Got that taken care of.
You got her
She's gonna
all
worry about
worried.
that the whole night.
I like how she said, no, there was a whole display of them. Like they partitioned that poor fool out, man. Like they came in with a big bucket, a big urn, and they were like, "Hey, Carl, how many bath salt bags think we can fill with that guy?" Like, he was pretty big. We can probably get about 50.
We'll charge $2 a bag.
We'll make $100 off him, Carl.
So here's the other thing she does. So before she gives me the high-powered old school massager thing for my birthday, she comes up to me and she goes, she gives me this large envelope, and she's really into death, obviously, right? But but she's really into her death. Like all she talks about is herself dying, and it's very sad to even have that conversation. And so she's planning everything out. I've talked about this numerous times. The first time she met Rachel, she told her that she, make sure that I'm buried in clean panties, and she's got the dress and how she wants to be buried, and she's got it paid for. She's got the spot and all this stuff. So she hands me this envelope and she says, here's, when I pass, this is the $15,000, and it goes to my funeral, or not whatever it is that she wants taken care of. And she's got all the paperwork. And I was like, this is the oddest birthday gift I've ever received, Mother. She's like, well, this isn't your birthday gift. Your birthday gift's over here. And I'm like, but you gave it to me at the same time. It's the same motion. Like you should have, there should be like an hour at least in between the two. You can't just go from here's my death blueprint to here's the high-powered old school early 80s sander massager. You can't, and happy birthday. You can't do both of them. And now to find out you're giving my daughter human remains as bath salts, she's getting weird, man. She's getting weird. I think it's time to check into a home, possibly check into a home. No more LCM for you, Mom.
Yeah, I'll give it to her. She sounded a lot younger than I expected her to sound. Like if I had to guess, I'd be like, oh, that lady's probably about 50 something. I thought she was going to sound like my grandma or something.
Yeah, she looks good. She sounds good. I mean, she's, when I was in high school, she was the hot mom. All my friends, used to call her hot. I mean, she looks great. She can do more than what she's doing. It's a not a Bailey thing, because Bailey's not technically my last name because I took it from my brother's father. But her side of the family, they have always had this thing where they fear the unknown. Like if they don't know it, they don't even want to try it. They don't want to learn anything new. They don't want to attempt anything new. They don't want, like, in order to reach for the sky, they don't even want to go by the ladder. You know what I mean? It's just in their head. It's too far away. Not even interested. So, I keep telling, she's like, I can't drive that. I was like, Mom, it's like 40 minutes away, your house to my house. I just can't do it. What do you mean you can't do it? Jason, I'm 79 years old. So what? You can you now have a car that literally tells you when to turn. I just can't do it. So I send my daughter, and she goes, Ariel's coming to pick me up. She's 19 years old. That's too far for her. She's from that day and age of the younger you are, the less distance you should drive. The older you get, the farther you can drive, right? You know that mentality?
Yeah. So Ariel got her for, I was going to ask you who got her for the birthday, because I was wondering if you got her an Uber again.
Well, so Ariel went and picked her up, and I Ubered her home.
Son of the year.
I had to record. I had to work.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it's like a common occurrence. You keep shoving her in an Uber. Eventually, she's going to come up missing, or she's going to be the one in that bag. Like, come on, man.
That's
It's
horrible.
not safe.
That's
It's
awful.
not safe.
Kind of condition her too to Ubers, you know, like what if you need to take an Uber somewhere?
What are you talking about?
Now she's getting used to
What are
getting
you
used to
talking-
Ubers. Getting conditioned to Ubers.
Is this another thrashinism? Like just out what do you
Hey, man, you got to condition her to Ubers, man. What if she's
Yeah.
taking Ubers, man?
what are you talking about?
What
man?
is she? She hadn't taken any before. Now she's taking them. She's getting used to it. It's a new experience for her.
It's a car. It's a freaking car, man. She's just riding in the back seat instead of the front seat.
Yeah, but you know, back in the day, the people had taxis and they're all yellow, and it's like, oh man, kind of boring. Now you might get a nice car nowadays.
No, Brandon's right, and he's onto something. And so the second so the second Uber that came, right? She walks outside and she's worried. She was comfortable with the Uber stuff. She actually asked me, she goes, do you want Uber over? She goes, how much did that Uber cost? And I said, $50. She goes, that's not bad. She goes, I thought it was $150. I said, no, Mom, it's like $50. She's like, that's not bad at all. She goes, you want me to Uber over to your house? So now she's excited to Uber, right? Yeah. So it's kind of like being on a plane the first time, you're a little nervous. Then the second time you go on the plane, you're expecting it to be just like the first time, but when it's a different plane or something's different, you get freaked out. So we walk out of my house. I walk her to the car and she goes, well, this isn't the same car. And I said, well, no, it's an Uber. She goes, well, how do we know this one's okay? It's not the same car as before. And I said, Mom, there's thousands of these. They're all different cars. They're different people. They're self-contracted people. Oh, I didn't know that. Now she was worried. So she gets home. She texts me. She goes, Uber was okay. It was good. Got home. Guy didn't speak English, but everything's fine.
Guy didn't speak any
Oh,
English.
she says every time. Guy didn't speak English, but everything's fine. Guys, he did speak English. Everything's fine. But you're right, Brandon. She's now like Netflix, the cell phone, the GPS, all these things. She's like, I can't do that. I'm too old to learn that. I can't do that. I can't do these things. I was explaining to her how to get the show, how to listen to the show. She thought by going onto Facebook and listening to the snaps, watching the snaps, the small video clips that I post was the podcast. She thought that so she's telling people, oh, I'm listening to my son's podcast. I said, well, Mom, not to get technical with you, but you're not really listening to the podcast. Well, how do I do that? So I had to explain that. So that's a whole other step we're going to have to take.
Did you make her pay for the subscription?
Yeah, I did. Well, the way it's set up, I can't give out free ones, but yeah, hell yeah. I pay
Yeah,
for
tell her, be like, all right, Mom, every time you listen to an episode, it's $5, but it's not that bad.
Hey, look, I pay for her internet and I pay for her phone. She can pay for a subscription. All right. I think that's fair. I think she's getting a better end of that deal. So she'll be fine. All right. Well, there we go. We got the bath salts thing taken care of. Jesus.
That was great. That started off, I thought we were talking about drugs and it ended up almost just better than drugs.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy though? She had no idea. She's probably not even going to be able to sleep right now.
Woke her up. Now she's going to think about it all night.
Yeah, she sounded really worried.
She sounded terrified, didn't she? Well, at least she gets to be a part of, because that's the promo for the show. So that's without a doubt. All right. So I've been sitting on this story. I want to bring this up. This is good. Change gears a little bit. Before I left California, there's a chain out on the West Coast called Mel's Diner, like the television show, right? But it's not the television. It's just called Mel's Diner, but it's kind of like a Johnny Rockets. It's a 50s style, kind of based off of American Graffiti, the movie. And we loved Mel's Diner. Absolutely loved Mel's Diner. We had a girl, like a waitress there, that we absolutely loved and adored. She was awesome. And that was our place. We're not fancy pants people. We don't eat out much, but we like to go up the street, go to Mel's, get a club sandwich, get a soda pop, boom, in and out. It was great. So our waitress, the last day that we were in California, we were like, we got to go to Mel's and get a Wolfman Jack. That was one of their breakfast specials. It was awesome. It's like eggs and bacon and sausage and pancakes, like for $12 or something. It was great. And our girl, who already had a young son, I believe, and her boyfriend, they were about to move as well. you know, for financial stuff and this and that. And she tells us the story about one of the reasons main reason they're moving their finances, but she's going to take some time off of work because she's pregnant again. And we're like, well, congratulations, you're pregnant again. I was like, how's the father feel? She's like, well, it's not his. I said, what do you mean it's not his? She goes, I'm a surrogate. I said, oh, okay. In my head, I'm automatically thinking it's a way to make money, and there's a family that can't conceive and she's helping them out. I don't know how the whole process works. I don't think the dude actually bangs her, but I think they inject her with the and there you go. And so in this situation, I guarantee you and everyone listening right now has never heard of this situation. This is so odd, and it is scary. She's carrying an Asian baby.
Oh, okay. She
So-
white lady?
She's white. The couple the couple are in Asia. Okay. So it's a company based out of Asia, and they've impregnated her to carry the baby. When the baby's born, the baby then goes back to them. Okay. But she has it in the United States. Guess what?
It's a U.S. citizen.
Automatically.
Oh, so that's why they did it?
I don't know the whole story, and I haven't done much research on this, but I was irritated a little bit. I was shocked. I was surprised. And, anytime I learn something new, I'm usually very appreciative because I like to learn something new and hear new stories about people and stuff. But I just thought everything about this was shady as shit, right? Because that they're going to pay top dollar and some. Money's not an object, right? So they're like, we'll give you $100,000. Just need to carry our baby. All right. Maybe they want an Asian American baby. Okay. But that baby, as soon as it's born on American soil, is a United States citizen. And then they ship it back to Asia or China or wherever they're at. So they have an American citizen. Well, now it'll have dual citizenship, I guess, right?
Yeah, dual
Citizenship without even, taking its first bite of steak. It's got dual citizenship.
What do you worry it's going to be like an international spy or something like that?
It just sounds kind of like a loophole, I mean, I know the surrogate system is, crosses borders. I get that. But this one was just odd. It's automatically a citizen, and then I'm wondering, like, well, is it the opposite? What if an American couple were to have a surrogate in Russia or China or North Korea or wherever? And does that kid automatically get citizenship there? I highly doubt it, because their citizenship laws are a lot stricter than our weak ass laws in this country. So it just seems like, in my head, I'm like getting paranoid. I'm going, there's probably a whole army of these fucking surrogate babies that are about to attack us.
So what's crazy, man, is that, well, first off, I got a friend in Border Patrol, and that happens all the time. Like, you'll have a woman that's 9 months pregnant. She's getting ready to go into labor. Her water will break, and coyotes will bring her across the border. So that way she will give birth to that baby.
The animal?
No, coyotes that,
the runners.
human traffickers.
Huh.
So they will bring her across the border. She'll give birth to the baby in the United States. That way that baby is a U.S. citizen. It was born on U.S. soil, which means all those babies are U.S. citizens out the jump. Now, when you talk about the other countries, I knew a pilot back in 2008. He had a whole family down in Rio de Janeiro. He was like living like a dude. It was crazy. He had a wife in DC and a wife in Rio de Janeiro, and he got her pregnant, and they had a baby, and the United States would not give that baby U.S. citizenship because it was born in Brazil, and he had to get a DNA test, go through all these freaking loopholes to get that baby back to the United States because it didn't have a visa, and it was a Brazilian citizen.
Is that because they weren't married, like legally?
No, they were married. I mean, he had married her, and he'd married the one in the U. He had 2 wives, and he was a stud, dude. He's kind of like my spirit animal. But
I don't think the U.S. would give you 2 wives.
no, the U.S. didn't give him 2 wives. That was part of the deal. Is when he was married to the woman in D.C., we went to Brazil and was like, "Oh yeah, I'm single. I'm single." And this lady totally thought he was single, so she married him in Brazil. So he was
Under
legally
Brazil
married
law.
in Brazil under Brazil law, and he was legally married in the United States under U.S. law. And he got her pregnant. And then when they got divorced, when she found out, he tried to get the kid to come back to the U.S. and they wouldn't let the kid in.
Is
And
that
it was.
Can you be married in 2 different countries?
That's a good question because you can't be legally married in the United States to 2 women, but you could. I mean, I'm guessing you can get married in every country, right? Under
Yeah, I
their
think so.
law.
All
I
right.
got a wife. Like, say you got a wife in Jamaica, you got a wife in Brazil, you got a wife in Kuwait, whatever. Why not, Brandon? Do it. That's how you live, brother. That's how you live.
Or
Spread
you
the
just don't
wealth.
get married at all. What's the benefit of me marrying these women in these random countries if they don't have U.S. citizenship?
Well, because then you got the perks of being a citizen of that country. You can have
Oh,
dual
so
citizenship. I mean, if you get married to a woman in, Peru, then you can apply for dual citizenship and you'll have dual citizenship.
so you get to get a citizenship in like every country.
This seems like a huge loophole that we should take advantage of.
Yeah, we
with
get a bunch
Brandon.
of passports too. Then they don't know who you are, where you are.
Yeah.
Have a
I
different
think
name
Brandon,
down
I
there.
think you should do it. That'd be good content right there.
Well,
Cool.
I don't think she ever told me did she tell me how much money? I think
Well,
she mentioned money. I think it's like a pretty good amount of money she's getting.
Well, I know the ones in the U.S. Megan's cousin does it. She's on her 3rd one, which I think is really weird because she's married and her husband's like cool with it. I think he's got like a pregnant fetish or something. But she gets 60,000 a pop.
Yeah.
So carry the baby for 9 months, you get 60 grand. Now my question is, with the baby being Asian, but it's inside of a white woman, so it's not going to be good at math.
No, I think you'll get the best of both worlds. You got the really smart part, but then you're like over there in Asia, they're like, oh, you're part white. What's going on over here?
Well,
No, it's not going to be as smart as the other Asians.
well, maybe not, but there's without a doubt, no question, it's going to be a horrible fucking driver. There's just no doubt about that.
What if it gets over there and it can drive and it's bad at math? They're gonna never accept it ever.
So you said Megan's sister?
Megan's cousin.
Megan's
Yeah.
cousin. So is it like she's addicted to doing it, or she
I
just
think so. I
eats
think so.
money, or what?
I think she's just, I mean, because she's one of those, like, she posts all the time on social media about her pregnancy and all the photos and all that. But they're not, I mean, they're all surrogates. And she's doing it for like people she knows. And my question was, and I asked Megan to ask her male cousin, because I didn't want to be that guy. But I was like, I don't know I don't know how you feel about that. You're married to a woman, but yet they are implanting her with another dude's sperm and that woman's egg once they're fertilized, and they're putting it inside of her. And at the end of the day, man, I mean, pregnancies, they take a toll on a woman. And you're married to this woman and she's getting pregnant 3 times from other dudes, even though the deed's not getting done the conventional way.
Right.
It's still like, because Megan was like, oh my God, I think I should totally do that. I love being pregnant and it's so much money. And I'm like, dude, you're out of your mind. Like, that's never going to happen. So I shot it down real quick.
Yeah,
But
that's crazy. You don't. It's like, you don't want me to be a professional boxer. Look at what I turn out to be. It's the same thing. It's somebody just using your vag as a speed bag.
exactly. And I mean, it's not coming. It's not going to be the same. So we shot it down, but we should totally get her on the show. That
Oh,
would be a great conversation,
I was
because
just
I
gonna
don't
say that.
understand the mental aspect of it.
Are there guys is there a system in the surrogate process that instead of being injected, you actually get to sleep with the guy? Like, that's part of like the fun of it, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, the expensive part is the implement is taking the so you take the medication, right? And then you do the in vitro, which most of these families have went through in vitro fertilization. So they go through that. If it doesn't work, that's when they make the baby outside in like a petri dish and they put it inside the wife and it doesn't work, or they have some type of complication. So at that point, they're like, okay, you need to have a surrogate because the wife can't, or the woman can't carry it. Well, that's so much money. I mean, you think about how much money that is when you're talking about having the doctors actually incubate, make the baby, get the fertilized egg, and then implant it. So if you actually do the deed with a guy, you're probably saving, and I would love to know this number, but it has to be 20 grand, at least 20 grand. What you're saving. So at the end of the day, if a woman's single, I think there's plenty of women out there that do that. That they just find a guy and they're like, yeah, he's a good candidate. He's good looking. He's well spoken. He's educated. Obviously not Brandon, but I mean, they're going to go out and find like a good guy to have them fertilized. But
Yeah,
I don't
but
know about.
that's not what a surrogate is. A couple coming to them and telling the chick, like, I don't think the dude's wife's gonna let him bang her and then like, all right,
Yeah, that's my thing. I don't know if that happens. I don't know if that's something that's even on the table.
Well,
Like,
you
do you
have
guys
one-
want to do it this
you have
way or
one-
that way?
You have one of two things. You either have the guy is shooting blanks, or the woman's eggs are not good to go. So if when you need somebody to fill one of those voids, so if you're filling the void of, let's say he's shooting blanks, then you're not taking his semen, right, and injecting it, right, because it's not.
No, you're taking a donor.
You're taking a donor. So why not enjoy the process and be like, okay, well, the chick finds a dude. Now if it's the eggs, then the guy it's the opposite. Am I wrong on this? I mean, do I sound stupid?
No, I think that's exactly what would happen. I mean, it could happen. I just don't think that people would talk about it. I mean, if you're married and you're shooting blanks, you're going to tell your wife like, hey, you need to get pregnant, but I don't want to spend $20,000. How about Tommy next door? I mean, he's a well-built guy. He's over 6'1". Let's have him knock you up.
Right.
I mean, that's an option, I guess.
And then take the 20K and go buy a car or something.
Yeah, go buy something. Go buy the subscription to a dating website, because you're probably going to be single after 9 months after that baby's born. But
Yeah.
I feel like I would rather, if the kid's not going to be y'all like legitimately yours anyway, you might as well just adopt a kid, right? Then like no one can be like, oh, well, actually this is the kid with me and so, or this is the kid with me.
this is me and Brandon's kid, and it's like, hey, what's up?
I agree, but I think for the woman, it's they want to go through the process, so they want to have that child. And I could understand that. Like, I don't have any biological kids of my own, so I've never gone through the process, but I do know people that have struggled giving. I mean, it's a thing, and I'm not taking anything away from that. So I get it and I understand it. But I think if I were in that situation, I would go to the store and adopt one.
Yeah, pick one up.
Right. I mean, because you have so many of them are just left behind.
Yeah.
I have to hear that damn Sarah McLachlan song one more time. And all these kids are left behind, and the older they get, the least they want. Now the problem is which one do you pick? And you want to make sure that they're not. That always would scare me. Is like, this kid's crazy. He's gonna kill me. They're a psycho. Where are they coming from? They trying to job me. So I don't know, man. It's just
I'm going blindside, man. I'm gonna go find myself like a 15-year-old, 300-pound, 6'5" defensive lineman, like legitimately good shot at making it. And that's the route I'm going. I don't know, baby.
I've always said that. I go, if I were going to adopt a kid, I'd adopt the rule for adopting a kid would be, and you would adopt at an age where they can do chores, right? And not far off from getting into the workforce. So, they can start making money, and then give them a small window until they're outside of the house. But you did your deed to humanity. You saved a life, built a roof. You got some shit done around the house. Took a little load off you, and you probably got a little extra money towards bills. It's a win-win, team effort.
It still costs money, though. I think you still got to pay money to get the older ones, which is crazy.
Yeah, you get them
Seems
like
the older
discount,
ones.
though.
I don't know how much of a discount. Isn't adopting a kid like 40 grand to adopt a kid?
No, is it really?
It's expensive, man. It's expensive.
Can you at least?
But I mean, I think if you go to like Africa or something and grab one, it's not a big deal. It's kind of free that way.
Yeah, they probably prefer that. Like,
Yeah.
to America.
There's a lot of them. I mean, you see them on the news all the time that they would love to come home with you. You just, it's like if you can provide them. What's that? Suzanne Summers and that older guy. You can survive. You can provide some mosquito nets and tampons. They would. I mean, if you're paying what 95 cents a day or a month, whatever it is that they want you to pay.
Yeah, $30 a day or $30 a month.
$30 a month, which has gone up a lot over the years. But I mean, like, I would totally take one of those kids with the big bellies, you know, the ones you see on the TV.
Yeah,
The one-
yeah. They got a beer gut, but the rest of them is skinny.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, that kid, I would totally, I'd be like, dude, let's get you all fixed up, man. You know, and then eventually bring the family. I mean, that, like, if you talking about a straight shot to heaven, you get one of those kids with the guts, and then you bring the family over afterwards. You get them out of the, you know, get them some water, get them some books, get them out of the nets and all that stuff. Dude, that's the sweetest thing a person could possibly do. That's cool. Get him off of those fucking commercials, because I guarantee he's not getting residuals. You know, and that's bullshit. I always wondered that those kids that they put in those commercials, like, what is the rule? Like, did they sign a contract? Did they audition? Is that really a kid? Is he a real kid, or is he an actor?
Are you talking about the kid with like the fly on his face?
Yeah, the little
Yeah.
fly in the face and the belly. I'm like, did you get permission to put that kid on television? That's bullshit. You know,
He's probably 50 now. He's probably in his 50s.
yeah. We find out he's like Samuel L. Jackson. That was his first kid.
He's like, damn it, I'm not Lawrence Fishburne. I'm not Lawrence Fishburne. I'm the kid with the fly on my face.
Who played the fly on your face kid in the Sally Struthers commercials? Oh, really? The kid that does Creed? Really? I had no idea that was his first gig. Oh, that's cool, man. Did a really good job on that. I bought it. I believe I sent the money in. I got a t-shirt.
I wonder where the cheapest country to rent kids. I mean, get one from is.
Oh,
It's gotta be an
Ethiopia.
Oh, Ethiopia.
Yeah.
Probably just give them away there.
Yeah, they got a lot of them.
Well, there's some countries that, you know, especially the war-torn countries where, you know, I don't know, Chuck, you'd probably know the answer to this better than I, but some of the soldiers, United States soldiers, those families are probably like, take my kid, get him out of here. You know?
Dude, so one of my best friends in the world, his name's Bill Carl, and he's a Vietnamese guy that lives in Destin, Florida, and he owns Mama Noo's Thai restaurant in Destin. Highly recommend it. But he is from Vietnam. And when you and Rach were down there, when you guys had the beach place down there, that's who I sent to for something. I can't remember what it was, to let somebody in at your place or something.
We never
I can't remember what was going on.
We never had a beach place in Vietnam.
No, in Destin.
Oh.
But I can't anyway. So it was part of the Vietnam. Oh my God. It wasn't the airlift. It was a Vietnam thing where they took all these kids from Vietnam that had lost their parents, and they brought them back to the United States, and they were adopted by a lot of US servicemen, a lot of people. Well, Bill was one of them. So when you meet him, it's hilarious because he's 1000% Vietnamese. His name's Bill Carl. And he's like, hey, man, what going on? I'll go play some golf. You know, and he's just like, I call him freaking, what's the guy from The Hangover?
Yeah.
Chow.
Mr. Chow. We call him Mr. Chow because he looks just like him and he acts just like him. But I mean, a lot of those kids come over. So yeah, I think like.
So he lost his parents in Vietnam?
Yeah. Yeah. Both parents, and a US serviceman. When he got back, his father was a master sergeant in the Air Force, and he adopted him. And he moved. His last base was Herbert Field in Florida, right outside of Destin. And he just stayed. His father passed away. He started a restaurant, and still there to this day, man. Craziest dude I've met in my life. But it's so funny to hear the story. When you walk in, man, he is like, and he's the biggest Trump supporter, which is really weird because you just wouldn't imagine like this guy. He's like, he hates the Democratic Party and all that stuff. And you're like, wow, it's really weird.
They wanted to leave us over there, Mom. I just
I'm a Trump man. I like Trump. Screw all those other guys. They suck.
Well, I forget the guy's name. There's so much shit that this country does that, you know, we have no idea about. Chuck would know more than any of us, but I forget the guy that we had on. He had a book, like big time military dude, high up, deep into shit. But he was, I think there was a movie made about him where he had, I guess we had a deal in Afghanistan, like locals that would help the United States military. If they helped and they were loyal and weren't dicks and turned heel, then the United States would bring their families over here and give them citizenship.
Yeah.
And the guy that he had was an intricate part of whatever. And the United States, just a lot of these contracts, I mean, these are actually written contracts that they're signed, just threw it away, flip, especially that horrible way of getting out of Afghanistan that we pulled, and that was part of it, where they just left them all behind. And they was like, sorry, never mind. We're not going to do that anymore. So these people that were saving American lives, these Afghanistani people that were saving American lives, that helped us do whatever it is that we did, we just turned heel on them and threw them away.
Yeah, they got murdered, probably ripped apart, families killed.
Well, yeah, I mean, they turned on their own people, so they can't. So now they can't stay there. I mean, they're going to live the rest of their lives, however long that might be, in hiding because of that. But it's just it's nutty, these like deals, and we're so fortunate to live. People want to bash on this country and just don't understand it. Like, yeah, you might not be happy with this, and you might not be happy with that. That doesn't make the entire country a horrible place. Like you have people that can't go walk around in their own country without getting murdered in the streets of their own country. I mean, look what's happening in Haiti right now. That was his name, Hamburglar or whatever. Hamburger. That dude was like, the reason why we're killing people and raping women is because the government lets us. Those are his words. Like, can you imagine living in a country that if you walk out as a woman look what happened, to those women at that concert from Hamas. They parachuted in and they showed it. I just watched a video the other day of women lined up in this room. They're picking out the ones that they can impregnate, and people still support these fucking crazy people. I'm going like, what was it? Are you like, just 2 years ago, you wanted Harvey Weinstein's head because he was jerking off in front of actresses, but now you're okay with some dude in a foreign country that's raping women and bragging about it and then killing them afterwards? What the fuck is wrong with you people? I don't care what the other reasons are.
I don't understand the Hamas thing. I don't understand the movement right now, all these college campuses. I don't understand any of it. I mean, I think there's a lot of countries out there that are a lot worse than the United States, but I don't know. I'm the whole thing that Israel's doing with Hamas. It's like, come on, man, this is a no brainer. It's not even up for discussion. Like you said, it. Crazy.
Go ahead, Brandon.
I think the biggest problem over there is that Israel just not giving a shit who they bomb. They're just bombing everywhere. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying Hamas is right, but I don't think Israel's handling it the right way.
I mean, we dropped a bomb on Japan. I don't know if anybody remembers. It ended World War II.
Twice.
And it's one of those where
we did it right.
What do you mean we did it right? We dropped a bomb on civilian populations and was like, all right, do you want to do it again? And they were like, no, we give up. We surrender.
No, we had to drop 2 of them, and then they stopped. Now, Israel's done dropped a shit ton of bombs, and they ain't stopped nothing.
So they need to drop a nuclear bomb. That's the difference.
Well, that's the problem nowadays, because then everyone else is going to start shooting nukes. But back then, when we brought it out, they're like, oh, shit, what the fuck did they got?
You know what really bothers me about all this stuff? They've got good names. Hamas is a cool name. Taliban is a cool name, right? ISIS, fucking cool name. There was a women's clinic in Alpharetta, Georgia named ISIS. They had to change it because of those. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like people were showing up at the clinic like, I would like you to join. It's
like, what?
Thank you.
I thought it was like a terrorist recruiting center or something. It's kind of like what the the skinheads and the Nazis did with the stars and bars. Like, that's not the original meaning of the flag. And they ruined it for everybody. So everybody thinks that. That's what sucks about these assholes. These Hamases and these ISISes and these Talibans. Y'all got pretty fucking cool names, and you're ruining it by being dicks. You know what I mean? It's like, now you can't have anything Hamas. Like, this sounds like a really nice treat before dinner. Hey, would you like some Hamas to go with your steak? You know what I mean? Taliban sounds like a brand of a sunglass or something. I mean, ISIS. That just, I don't know what that is, but that just, it's is. I mean, that's cool, right? It's a cool word. Ruined it. You got to take shitty names if you're going to be bad people. That's all I'm saying. Don't take the good names. It's like when you find you meet somebody and they have a really cool name and you want to like them because they have a really cool name, and you find out they're the biggest asshole. And then afterwards, you can never like anyone with that name. You know what I mean? It sucks.
Yeah.
You
Or
know?
you like or you meet somebody that has a really crappy name and you're like, and they're like, oh, who you hanging out with? And you're like, freaking Bruce, you know? And everyone's like, oh, Bruce, that's a crappy name. You're like, I know, but he's cool. You know, it's like
Dating,
sucks.
there are certain girl names that I never wanted to date just because I didn't like the name. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't say it out loud. I was like, yeah.
What's one of them? I got one. What's yours? What's one that you could never date?
I was like a Bertha, right? You know, a Bertha. But the biggest one was Helen.
Helen.
Yeah, Helen.
Mine
And
was my. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
let me tell you why. And I've told the story before. In kindergarten, there was a Helen Smith, and this girl, 6'5", kindergarten. She was huge, pale white, bright red hair, red freckles, and she wanted me bad. And so I already had a girlfriend, Heather Schwartz. And Heather and I were boyfriend, girlfriend because I walked in on her in the bathroom. So we figured that's how a relationship starts. Because there was a red for don't come in and a green for come in, but she forgot to switch it. So I turned it on to see her peeing, which might be the reason why I'm freaked out by bathroom stuff to this day. I don't know. But anyway, so Heather and I were a thing in kindergarten, and Helen wanted me. And so Helen always found a way. This is all very true. Helen always found a way to be my partner when we went to the sandbox station. You know, we'd have different stations, and she was just always like all over me. It was like made me so uncomfortable. Then the big topper offer was we were cast. I was first. She came in second as the farmer in the Dell. So I was the farmer, she ain't my bitch, right? So, you know, farmer in the Dell, and I was the lead, and she was my bitch. And so like she wouldn't let me go. So ever since then, I couldn't do Helen's. But here's the funny thing. And I just did this recently in Sacramento when I was on the air. This woman by the name of Helen calls the show. She's talking. Somehow we start getting into looks and whatnot. I go, I bet you anything I know what you look like. And she goes, I bet you don't. There's no way you know how you never met. I said, I bet you're pale white with bright red hair. She goes, oh my God, how do you know that? I said, I just know that. It's like all Helens are the same. Isn't that crazy? So Helen, and you would think Helen, the face that launched 1,000 ships, right? It should be a beautiful name, but it's not to me. Tell
me. Mine is definitely Bobby.
What's a dude? That's why.
No, it's Bobbi. The first girl, I was in middle school, and her name was Bobby Lynn. They called her Bobby Lynn because her middle name was Lynn. And maybe at that point, they didn't want to make fun of her because of the whole first name thing. But Bobby, man, I was head over heels for Bobby, and she cheated on me with Eric Mayberry. I'll never forget it. So at that point, I was like, you know what? No more Bobbies. And I met a couple more, but every time I met them, they just gave me like a stripper vibe, like that weird, like tomboy stripper, which I'm not into that. What about you, Brandon?
A lot of girls with two names too. Two names.
Oh, two names is a definite no. Walk away from two names all day.
Yeah, I'm with the one probably Sam with that with the typical dude name also, but dude, that could be a dude. It's gonna sound weird if I'm inside of you and I'm saying that. But like, I got a couple buddies named Sam. You know, I can't be saying your name now.
Why would you say it? What do you say?
Oh baby, I love you, Sam. Let me.
Sam.
So weird. Why would you say your name?
I don't know.
I mean, I've heard it like maybe you say your own name.
Why would you say your own name? Oh, Chuck, look at you, Chuck. You're doing so good.
No, you like what Chuck has here, baby. You know what I mean? Like something like that. But I wouldn't be like, oh, Sam.
God, I feel bad for Megan. Oh my God.
I don't say it. I don't say
Megan, this is Chucky, and Chucky's coming after you. Can you smell what Chuckus are cooking? Oh, Chuck. You know what?
I mean,
Chuck.
Hey, man. It's what we're into. It's weird.
That's weird. I don't know why you guys are saying anyone's name. Like I can't. I'm.
That's what I said. I just said that saying your own name makes more sense than saying her name.
I don't know how that makes more sense. Talking about yourself the whole time.
Well, yeah. I mean, like
Get off me. Let me finish by myself.
Get out of here, bitch.
Get out of here, bitch.
Chuck needs his alone time.
Chuck needs to handle this by himself.
Go take a bath in those ashes and call me later.
Get out of here, Sammy. Chuck's got to handle this. This
looks like a job for Chuck.
Chuck is gonna shoot one in his own face. Right?
Shut up. Why are you gonna go that far? See, you took it too far, man. Took it too far.
Yeah. That's right, Chuck. Good aim, Chuck.
Chuck is big right now. Chuck is lasting forever. It's time for you to leave the room so Chucky can have some phone.
So stupid.
Oh shit. That's the funniest fucking thing I think I've ever heard, dude. Why are y'all talking about somebody else's name? Why don't you say your own?
Now you make it weird. Now you make it weird. It wasn't weird before. Now it's weird.
Oh, Chucky. Oh, Chucky. Chucky. Can I come back in the bedroom now, Chuck? No, Chuck ain't done. Chucky got more in him. Chucky's banging and clanging tonight.
Chucky's going for round 2.
Chucky's just in the 7th inning stretch right now. And I gotta talk to your wife and see if that's real.
No, it's not real. It was an example.
Of what? Examples usually from experience.
Of you would say your own name before you'd say a woman's name.
No, I mean, he didn't say a woman's name, but he just said he felt uncomfortable because it's also a dude's name. Well, you got Bobby, he's got Sammy with an I, right? Sammy.
I was going with straight Sam. S-A-M.
Straight up Sam in your face, man. Now,
or Christine that goes by Chris. Oh, dude, that shit's rough too.
Yeah. Or somebody
even with a K, Chris.
Yeah. Or somebody named Beth that goes by Matt. Fucking weird.
It's odd.
Yeah, really odd. Never heard of it either. It was a joke. Sorry.
There are girls named Chris, and that's weird.
Yeah. So here's the opposite is I actually find that attractive. So I don't know what that makes me, but like chicks with guys' name, we were actually talking about that the other day, is a girl named Frankie. And I was like, that's kind of hot. Frankie is like chicks. Sammy, I think, is a sexy name for a girl. Chris, not so much, but it's got to be the I version. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my cousin's name or my great uncle's name is Frank, and he is not something I want to envision in the bed.
See, that's the problem is you always are envisioning somebody else with the same name, right? That's why you always wonder, like, who, your wife, my wife, if they've ever dated another Chuck or Jason, then, are they at any time thinking of them? I mean, I've dated other Rachels, I can honestly tell you, I've never thought of another Rachel with my Rachel, but that's God's honest truth. That's God's honest truth. But I never wondered if the same's for them. I don't know.
Good chance, maybe, but they might forget who they're with. Probably when they're drunk. That's when I forget things.
Possible. Who knows? All right, Brandon, you got a question? I can't wait. Did you ask you asked a question one time, is water wet, right?
Yeah, that was a hard one.
Do you know that my sister-in-law's, I think he's 8 or 9-year-old son, we had a very similar conversation. It was mind-blowing. He sounded like a scientist, a genius, because he's a kid, so he's indecisive. So it's like, do you want something to eat? No. You sure it's time to eat? You haven't eaten? No. We got chicken nuggets. Oh, okay. No. Yeah, that's fine. And so I was like, dude, kid, you're really indecisive. Let's find something that you can say quickly. I need an answer. We're going to play a game. You have to answer quickly. If not, you get buzzed. He's like, okay. I said, okay. What color is the sky? Blue. Okay. And then we're going. What color is an orange? Trying to trick him and stuff like that. And I was like, what is water? And he couldn't answer. And I said, wet. And he goes, no, water's not wet. Water gets things wet. And I'm like, oh shit, where have I heard this before? And he would. I was like, water is wet. And he's like, no, water can't be wet because of its property. I'm like, you're 9. What are you talking about?
Even he knows.
Yeah, I was like, I thought Brandon asked this question. Anyway, all right, let's see what your question is this week.
One question with Brandon.
And by the way, if you want to sponsor One Question with Brandon or Better with Fuck, which is in tomorrow's episode, feel free to reach out to me or sponsor the show at all in any capacity, thebaileyshow.com. Brandon, what's your one question?
All right. Is it considered cheating if your wife or girlfriend gets with another girl?
Yes.
Would you be mad about it though?
That's tough. So I will tell you, I've been in this situation, kind of. I used to do a lot of, back in my day, gigs at strip clubs, and I was friends with a lot of strippers. I dated a lot of strippers. Or, my first wife, when we were younger, I think wanted to experience something like that. I don't have the stamina to do a threesome. I'd be a flop. I mean, I'd be in and out and they would be doing their thing. And I'd be like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. So I've never gone there, but there was one night we were at this place called Lollipops in Daytona Beach. And I thought I saw her kiss this girl I knew. I thought I did. I don't know if I did or not. And it surprised me how I felt. Like you would think like, yeah, cool, dude, whatever. But I was actually jealous and I was upset. And I had no control over it because that's not normal. I shouldn't be. And nor should the answer to that question be yes, I guess. But I was. So I think to answer your question, it is yes, it's cheating. And the second part of it, I think yes is the answer to that too. I don't know. I think Chuck's wife sleeps with a lot of women. I don't know, but
I'm going to say no, but that's with a
No.
caveat. With a caveat, I got a caveat. It's no if you are aware of it and you talk about it and it's open and it's one of those like, hey, I think I want to make out with her. And you're like, yeah, that's cool. But in Jason's situation, that's my caveat, is if she hides it or, she's trying to hook up with chicks on the side and, keep it a secret. Well, at that point, you're like actually cheating. Right. But I mean, if it's talked about and all that, I hate to say, because kissing, I guess, is technically cheating. Right. But it's just same sex. I think if you feel threatened, it's cheating. So I'm going to say no.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't feel threatened.
I saw a news story the other day. This dude got broke up with his girl or his wife of like 10, 12 years because she went and didn't tell him and he got with a girl or she got with a girl. I'm like,
I saw that.
Why are you mad about that? Like what? Like, I don't understand the threat there. Like, I mean, it's not like some dude's pounding your girl. I mean, they might have a strap on or something, but it ain't real dick, so he'd be all right.
But
worst case scenario is you got another girl moving in with you.
Yeah, for real.
but it could lead to that, so now it brings in a whole new element, brings in a whole new lifestyle. It brings in a whole new relationship, which is going to affect your relationship. So that's where that part comes in. It's no longer she's no longer that unit of just you two is no longer just you two. Now you have a third party that's involved that's going to affect your life. I think that's where it gets little.
Well, I think it comes down to how much too, right? Like I think we can all agree that if you're married or you're in a relationship and the girl goes out and has a one night stand with a guy, that's cheating, right?
Sure.
Oh yeah.
But if she goes out and makes out with a girl one night, that's not the same.
I wouldn't call it cheating now.
I would
just say she was partying or she was trying something new or whatever. I don't know.
My definition of cheating is probably different than a lot of people's. Like, I think if either a person flirts, that's considered cheating. Cheating, in my opinion, by definition, is betrayal. And betrayal is anything that would hurt the other person or that would hurt the relationship. So if you're flirting and you think it's innocent flirting, if you wouldn't do that in front of your husband or boyfriend, then don't do it. It's wrong. It's
somebody's controlling.
No, I'm not. Look at the word. Look at the word that you're talking about. Cheating. What does cheating mean? What does it mean? Is cheating just sex? I mean, everybody, for years of trying to define cheating. I look at cheating by, I define cheating as you're cheating on the relationship. It's not just sexual. It's the trust in the relationship. That's the most important thing. I've got trust issues. So the most important thing is trust. And as soon as somebody betrays that trust in any way, shape, form, or fashion, I mean, like if it's case by case. So the guy and the girl, however they are, I mean, you might have a guy and a girl that don't give a shit about any of that stuff, that don't bother. To me, I'd be bothered by it. It's not that I'm controlling or jealous. It's just I don't like it. So that's just me. That's what you're getting involved in. So you're betraying my trust, just as there are things that your wife, my wife, that like and don't like, that make them different people, that if I were to do with any other girl, it'd be fine, but with her would not be fine. I know that, so I won't do that because I don't want to betray their trust. And I want to make sure that they're happy. It's not that my wife is controlling or jealous. It's just that that's how she is. And if I want,
so would you go to a strip club?
Not without her or without her permission. Today, I mean, back in the day, it was different. Like my first wife knew that was part of my job. I despise strip clubs. I've got no interest. But if I'm going like on a bachelor party or something, like I'm not a strip club guy anymore. But if I were to tell her, hey, look, I'm going out with the fellas, I've got friends out in Daytona, big strip club city, and I'm like, we're probably going to hit up a strip club. She's going to go, okay, cool. I'm telling her ahead of time. You know what I mean? I'm not just going to go out there. I know what you're getting at. And I've always despised guys that can't go to strip clubs without their wife's permission. That's not what it is. It's just a respect thing. If you have an ex, we're going through this right now with some stuff, but if you have an ex reach out to you, I think you need to tell the other person that ex reached out to you. She's got an ex that's reached out to her for whatever reason, and I'm sure it's harmless. I'm
It's probably like, oh, this guy's less than employed now. Now's my time.
Yep. He doesn't have as much money as me. I work at Whataburger.
But I think it's disrespectful not to say, hey, look, this person reached out to me and this is the reason why. You know what I mean? Am I right?
Did she tell you?
That's another conversation I'm not going to get into.
Oh, yes.
Well, I feel like at that point, like, if you tell them, or I guess it depends on where you are in a relationship and how your relationship is. But if it's harmless and they say, hey, you still have so-and-so's number from, 5 years ago, and you just give them the number and then never talk to them again. I don't know if you should tell them just for the fact it's going to stress them out more. Be like, all right, well, why? Well, what else did you talk about? Did you talk about this? Did you talk about that? But I guess it depends on the relationship, because I would be pissed if I found out afterwards. But if I never knew to begin with, I'd be like, oh, okay, well, I didn't know.
Well, that was my point. I was like, all you got to do is just say something, I mean, I promise you, if I wanted to, how many exes I have in this city? I've got a lot of, if I wanted to reach out to an ex, I could in a heartbeat, but I don't, now if one reached out to me, I'd probably, especially if it was for a reason that, was bad, like, hey, what are you doing? Are you happy? Like, I'd without a doubt tell her, but even if somebody reached out to me and was like, hey, just call and say hi, I'd be like, oh, I had an ex reach out to me, just say hi, just a heads up, because you're supposed to be sharing everything. You're not supposed to be keeping anything from the person that you're with. Back to your question about the girl thing. That's why I think it's cheating, is because you're still betraying, and then it also goes into whatever you believe a relationship is, especially a marriage. I mean, I kind of a traditionalist with a lot of those types of things. So, what Chuck's explanation, I meant to say this right after he said it. What Chuck is trying to say is that he's experienced this numerous times, is that like the way that he explained the whole thing with his wife was way too detail oriented and way too exact. So
yeah, no, I talked to her about it before. We've definitely had that conversation. And I was like, hey, would you ever do that? And she's very much not playing for that side of the field, on that side of the team. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's not for that. And I was like, I was kind of surprised because I don't know. I was under the impression, I think most women okay going that route to a certain extent. I think almost every girl I've ever even been friends with or dated or whatever, like they'll kiss other girls and it's not
Yeah.
a big deal.
Every
But my wife is
I-
the
I've-
totally against it.
I've said this forever. Every woman, not just some, every woman has either A, had a lesbian experience, or B, thought about it.
Yeah.
One of the two. Every single one of you. Don't tell me it's not true. And for the ones that say it's not true, you're liars. Every single one. Have done it.
Everybody likes boobs, man. Everybody likes boobs.
Right. And you know what? It's fine. It's not, I don't say that like it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's just a thing. You know, I still, and this is, this is I guess a tip of the hat to the LGBTQ community, is because I think it is cheating. I think we're all equals. It doesn't matter what the sex is. I mean, there was once a day and age where it was like, well, it's just it's a girl, it's a quick lesbian experience. It's this. Okay, well, it's still a person. You know what I mean? It's still, like, would she be okay if I went and banged a dude one night?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
why is that?
she'd
why
be
is-
okay with that.
Yeah, why is that different? I mean,
I didn't say it was.
Well, it's
I
very
caught
different.
myself. I
gotta-
totally caught myself.
Very different.
Because I do. Everyone, I'm just kidding. So anyway, that was my answer. And Chuck, you answered too. Brandon, did you answer?
Yeah, I don't think it's cheating, but I wouldn't go bang a dude.
You don't think
Again.
you don't think it's cheating now because you're 25 and you've never been in a long, real relationship. But when you do get into that long, real, at 25, I wouldn't expect you to. At 25, I had the same answer you did. At 25, I welcomed it. I mean, yeah, because that's what you want. Live your life. Bro.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, that's why I just saw the news article. I thought it was real weird. And I was like, well, let me ask these dudes that are married over here what they think.
but they're married and they were probably older. They're probably at least in their late 30s, early 40s, right? And
Yeah, I think they were 40, somewhere around there.
Right, exactly. So it's an age thing, it's a life thing. I mean, I'm not saying everybody that's over the age of 35 or 40 thinks that way, but I think the older you get and the deeper in a relationship you get, the more your mindset changes. And it's take the sex out of it. Take the sex out of the equation. It's more about what you've built, and it's a trust thing, and it's fucking up your schedule. It's fucking up your situation. It's like now you have involved somebody else in your life, and it's just another person to cause problems. It's another person that they can tell their stories to, whatever, and all these different things. It's bad. Bad. All right. Appreciate you listening. This is a Free Bay episode. So thank you. Please subscribe. We give you new content sometimes 5 days out of the week. We had a sub extra last week with Anthony Scaramucci. Spent 11 days in the White House before Trump fired him. That was a really cool conversation. If you think it was way political, you're wrong. It's not. It was just a very cool conversation about a dude like me having basic questions like, hey, Mooch, are all y'all smoking mirrors and a bunch and full of shit? Those kinds of questions is what I asked them. So that's what you get from this show. There's a good chance we might have another sub extra this week. It all depends. Who knows? But you get you get good stuff, and it's $4.99 a month. And you get to help the cause and support the cause. So if you go to thebaileyshow.com, you can subscribe there for free. Subscribe to the YouTube channel at The Bailey Show. This episode every Monday, Honey, I Raised the Kids podcast, and Wednesday, Free Bay BS episode. The full length video version, if you're a YouTuber, is up there. We've passed a milestone in subscriptions for YouTube. That's pretty cool. So if we can continue to contribute to that, I'd appreciate that. TheBaileyShow.com. Newsletters up there, merch stores up there. Tell a friend, all of our social media, like, share, follow. And I always ask this, those snaps, those little video clips that I post on all social media platforms, if you could please share that with somebody in your network and say, give this podcast a chance. I listen. I love it. I dig them. They're fun. They're funny. They're interesting, blah, 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 blah. Just give them a chance and just tag somebody in your network. That's all I ask. Garrett on Twitter is the king of this. Garrett does a great job of sharing our stuff. So thank you, Garrett. I appreciate all of that. Brandon, you got anything before we get out?
Try not to give your granddaughter human ashes.
Yeah. No shit. All right, Chuck.
I hope that my wisdom did not in part take any of you guys to step out on your marriage. And if you do, make sure you do it with a man like Jason.
Yes, I love my men. All right, look, have yourself a great, safe one. As always, thanks for the support. Thanks for listening. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Thanks for listening. Till next time, check out thebaileyshow.com. Make sure you like, share, follow on all socials. I leave you with these parting words.
Never got a pink slip either. You know what I would get? A guy would come around to my desk and say, "Get the fuck out of here." What do we want to talk about?
Subscribe at thebaileyshow.com.
Yeah, baby.